Hello there and welcome back to another preview video. It has been quite a while, actually, it feels, since we played Arsenal and played poorly. Well, we didn't play poorly, we gave up two bad mistakes. For the rest of the game we played pretty decently, but just couldn't put it in the back of the net. And we are going to be coming up and facing Chelsea, who are going to be absolutely buzzing after the weekend's games. Now, I will be going through probably at the end of the week, or maybe, sometime at the end of this week, something like that. I'm going to be going through every single fixture that has happened recently, especially the end of the season games as well, because there's a lot of permutations that can still happen for the top four and also for relegation. So I will be doing that near the end of the week. I can't do it at the start of this week. I'm doing the Liverpool ones because I love making the Liverpool ones. I love making the other ones as well, but these ones are the priority for me. While I'm doing some other stuff, personal stuff. So that's just stuff that takes priority over everything else. So let's have a look at Liverpool versus Chelsea. This isn't going to be an easy game whatsoever. And I've said that so many times about different games here, there and everywhere. Now, the great thing for Liverpool is that obviously this result doesn't change anything for us. All it changes is, or impacts in any way, is how the season actually ends for us. Whether it ends on a positive or it ends on a bit of a negative, a bit of a flat end to a season. But we wouldn't be the first team that does that anyway. If we have a flat end to the season, it's not the be-all and end-all of our season anyway. We've won the Premier League title. We've got a vast amount of points over everybody else in the Premier League. We are still far and away the best team in the Premier League this season. That cannot be taken away from us whatsoever, despite what people on Twitter and other, Chelsea fans, City fans, United fans, Arsenal fans, no matter what they might say to you, we are still very much number one and the best team in the country by a country mile this season. That will never be taken away from us. But Chelsea are absolutely going to be buzzing. They put in a great performance against Manchester United in the FA Cup, and it was a really well done performance as well against a United that looked really flat, really flat, no energy, and that doesn't encapsulate what Manchester United have been about recently. You have to say it, Man United recently have been very good. People criticising, saying, well, they haven't come up against a top team during that entire run and stuff like that. But that's not entirely true, with wins coming against City before COVID-19 and all this sort of stuff. They put together some pretty decent results, let's be honest. But this game, they sort of reverted to type to what things were like before Christmas time. They were a bit flat, and Chelsea, to their credit, and what Chelsea do, they create chances, and they created boatloads of chances, and they will create chances against Liverpool. That is the one thing that concerns me about this game, is that they are a creation machine. And that is just what it is. The way that they like to pile forward, the way that they're using Olivier Giroud, people call him a lamppost, people say that he can't run, he can't do this, can't do that. But what he does do is he puts it in the back of the net. Take away everything that Olivier Giroud might not be able to do. The most important thing for him is that he puts it in the back of the net. And everything else can be built around him for that. So the likes of Willian, the likes of Pulisic, the likes of Mason Mount, if they use Billy Gilmour in midfield, who had a great game against us to knock us out of the FA Cup, and then you've got Kovacic, you've got loads of different other players. I don't know if N'Golo Kante is going to be fit or not, but regardless, that midfield, despite, I disagree with what Graham Souness said about Chelsea's midfield, where he says, I would love to play against them, just because he felt that they were a little bit weak. But I didn't see that against Manchester United, and I've not seen that when we've played against them either. Make absolutely no mistake about it. Our team, from front to back and back to front and everything in between, needs to be on it 100% to get a good result against Chelsea. Because Chelsea, if we have a look at the standings quickly, they're currently third place, right? They're 1 point ahead of Leicester, and they are 1 point ahead of Manchester United as well. Those two teams, Leicester and Man U, are both equal on points and also equal on goal difference, which is redonkulous. What a recovery that has been for Manchester United. But Chelsea still need to solidify themselves into the Champions League places. Now, Leicester seem to be doing them and Man U a favour by being able to bottle every single opportunity they have to seal up top four. However, it's still not sealed for Chelsea, because I don't know who their last game of the season is, but they've got to come up against Liverpool, which won't be an easy game for them, but it's not an easy game for us. And then they've got another game to finish off the season. They could still finish in the top 4, but there is an outside chance, despite what they've been doing recently, that they could also finish outside the top 4. You know, they've still got to do some business to get themselves secure into the Champions League for next season as well. And with the signings that they're going to make, and the signings that they have made, like Ziyech, like Timo Werner, apparently they're very close to getting Kai Havertz from Bayer Leverkusen as well, which would be an absolute, like with the 2 players already, Werner and Ziyech, and Kai Havertz, that's a hell of a revamp job and a very, very good one, it has to be said. So when we come down to the actual game, I want to look at what we've played this season against Chelsea. We have technically drawn, won, and lost. Now, I say drawn. I know we won the overall tie of the Super Cup, and that was great. We got the trophy and all that sort of stuff. But we drew the game. It went down to penalties. We then won 2-1 against Chelsea, and then what was it? Yes, it was. It was a couple of weeks before the COVID-19 shutdown. Chelsea beat us 2-0 in the FA Cup. Now, I know it's all, 3 different competitions and stuff like that, but Chelsea are a very difficult team for us to play against. They have something to play for as well, being the top 4. Yes, they've got the FA Cup and all that sort of business, but they've got the top 4 to seal up as well. They'll be wanting to come out and put in a very, very good performance. And if they put in a performance anywhere like they did against Manchester United, they'll create chances for sure. They will probably score a goal or 2 as well. The difference is if we play anywhere like we played second half against Arsenal, we will make it difficult for Chelsea. We have to make sure that the mistakes that we made against Arsenal in the previous game were just singular mistakes, and they're not something that it doesn't become a trend. It doesn't continue. It doesn't keep happening. That is what we have to make sure that we do. And I believe that Alisson, obviously, world-class goalkeeper, Virgil van Dijk, still the world's best centre-back. They're just out-of-character mistakes that they made, and I'm pretty sure I can almost, if I could touch wood, whatever, I would say that they won't be making those mistakes easily again unless they're pressed into it. Now, Chelsea have a very good pressing game, but so do we. We are the best pressers in the league, by far. But Chelsea have a very good pressing game as well. But they combine that pressing with possession. And possession and the pressing and all of the attacking forwards as well. If they get in behind us, it will cause havoc. They will cause havoc for anybody. If you set back with a flat back 4, you'll have a better chance, but we don't play like that. We will have Trent and Andy Robertson pretty much sat on the halfway line. And then you've got Virgil van Dijk and Joe Gomez, right? And very, very good centre-backs. The best centre-back pairing I've seen at Liverpool since I can remember. Since I can remember. Best centre-back pairing that I've ever seen. But when you're coming up against all these forwards, and you've got Mason Mount running forward, Kovacic, you've got Willian, Pulisic, you've got Olivier Giroud making himself a nuisance like he does against all defenders, it will be a difficult game. Now, for Liverpool, I am not entirely sure what I would do lineup-wise. I still think, I always say this about Firmino, in that sometimes he's not contributing enough. But he made a very, very good appearance a couple of weeks ago off the bench. Really, really good appearance off the bench and turned the game around for us. And I can't remember who it was against. I genuinely can't remember who it was against. We started Origi and Firmino came on. And yeah, I genuinely, honestly cannot remember who it was against. But I still feel we need to change something up front. I think we're not getting enough out of the front 3 at this moment in time. I think Mane is carrying the burden massively. He didn't deserve to be on the losing side against Arsenal. He really, really didn't. His work rate and the fact that his goal was well taken as well, he didn't deserve it. He's been taking a lot of the burden. Salah isn't chipping in with goals like he should be. He's still our top goal scorer as well, and still in a shout at the Golden Boot. But I think that's gone, to be honest with you. And he can still contribute massively, but we're not getting the penetration through the middle. And Firmino's work rate and what he does for Liverpool is truly underrated by every other team in the country. And it's not underrated by me, but I think if you're wanting to get a result and make it difficult, you've got to change something. And I'll be honest, I don't know what you would change it to. A lot of people will still say, stick with Firmino. We'll keep going with Firmino. It'll be absolutely fine. He'll come good. But it's been a long, long time since I remember a Bobby Firmino goal. I know he contributes a lot more than goals, but I think that we maybe need to change something up. The problem is that when you change one of the front three, you can see the effect on the other two players that are left in there. It's not always the same, and that is something that possibly needs to get rectified in the summer. I'm not entirely sure who I would go with up front, to be honest with you. Some people would say, why don't we start Mane through the middle, and you could have Minamino on the left-hand side, or Shaqiri came on in the last game as well. He seems like he could be an option, seeing as he's fit right now. If he wasn't fit, he wouldn't have come off the bench. He could make an appearance. People say about Salah playing through the middle, but I actually think that Sadio Mane, physically and just generally, would be better through the middle than Salah. That's just my opinion. I might go with that, actually. I'm going to run with my thought process here. I want to go with Minamino out on the left-hand side, Salah on the right-hand side, and Mane through the middle. And I think that could cause absolute havoc. You lose that work rate off the left-hand side of Mane, but he would still work that hard anyway. And it gives Minamino a chance to come in, show us what he can do. And Salah would still stay on the right-hand side for me. Shaqiri being a very good option to come off the bench. Harvey Elliott could as well. In midfield, I want to see Curtis Jones, I want to see Fabinho, and I want to see possibly Naby Keita. Now, that's a very, Fabinho being the physical presence and the commanding, defending midfielder, that would be what I would go with. In terms of Naby Keita and Curtis Jones, you get two people that can carry the ball well, but they carry it differently. You get a bit more aggression out of Curtis Jones, in my opinion, whereas you get more intricate movement from Naby Keita, and that could be the difference in unlocking that Chelsea defence. That's just my opinion, and also working through their midfield. They don't have massively physical players in their midfield, but they've got very good hard-working midfielders as well. And I feel we could combat that with those two, Curtis Jones and Naby Keita, with Fabinho as the main holding guy. Let me know what you think in the comments below about that. And then the back four and goalkeeper don't change for me. Trent, Robertson, Van Dijk, Gomez, and Alisson, it just stays the same for me. It's been the most solid combination of players that I've seen Liverpool have in a exceptionally long time. I don't see any other reason to change it. This is going to be a hard game, and I'll be honest with you, I'm predicting a draw. I think that Chelsea have got way more to fight for than we do. We don't have anything to fight for. We are the champions. We are in the Champions League next season. There's nothing else for us to go for, and I'm predicting a draw. I think that Chelsea will cause havoc. I think it's going to be 2-2. I think we might go down first, to be honest. I think we might concede first, and then we'll fight our way back. Maybe make it 2-1, and then they'll score a goal late on or something like that. This is just how I'm feeling it in my mind, is that I just feel, I always will say how I feel, is that I just feel it in here, right in here, that it's going to be a draw, and I think it's going to be 2-2. Let me know what you think in the comments below. People don't always like it when people predict draws or losses for their team, but I'm just being realistic of where we are, where we have been. I realise we've had way more rest than Chelsea, but Chelsea are on an up. Chelsea are on an up at the moment. We have been very disjointed since the restart. Even though we won the title, we've been very just disjointed, and we're coming up against a team that is going to want to press, going to want to keep possession, and will create massively against us. And they've got top four to fight for, to keep away Manchester United from their spot as well. They want Leicester to be, taken out top four rather than Chelsea, obviously. So I'm going for a 2-2 draw. Let me know what you think in the comments below about this game. Thank you ever so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed it, please do like it and subscribe if you're new around here. Thank you once again, and I'll catch you later.